engine now running and avionics being powered up. We'll be preparing for a short VFR flight here in Skyline 65908. Now we're positioning on the runway for takeoff. We'll be completing a normal takeoff with full power, and will be a right downwind departure for this VFR flight. Now as we zoom into the instrument gauges on the MFD, we'll see the engine making full power at 32 inches and 2400 RPM. Now as we zoom in on the PFD, we'll see a climb speed of 95 knots indicated airspeed with full power is generating a climb rate of 1,100 feet per minute at an altitude of 650 feet MSL. In our climb now, we're going to activate the autopilot and couple the heading mode and the vertical speed mode. You'll see we also have 7,000 feet out in as our pre-selected altitude. The autopilot is now flying and following the heading bug on the HSI and climbing at the designated vertical speed we entered in the autopilot. Once we reach 7,000 feet, the autopilot will capture that altitude and hold it. Now we're going to have the autopilot capture and follow a GPS course from a designated heading. The pilot is entering in a direct course to an airport and then arms the nav mode on the autopilot. The autopilot turns the aircraft automatically to capture this course and will follow the GPS course. Approaching our pre-selected altitude with the autopilot still engaged. You'll see the autopilot starts to lower the nose automatically as it approaches the altitude, and as it does so, it will capture 7,000 feet and will hold it. In this segment, we're going to demonstrate the use of the Lean Assist program built into the G1000 system. All the pilot has to do is press the soft key on the bottom of the MFD titled Assist, and then leans out the mixture until the computer detects peak turbine inlet temperature. And then once peak TIT is detected, the pilot enriches the mixture to 50 degrees rich of peak TIT, which is the manufacturer's recommended procedure. As we start our descent for landing, the pilot is loading an ILS approach through the input on the PFD. When the approach is activated, as it is here, the G1000 automatically tunes the ILS frequency and changes the CDI needle to the inbound localizer course, from there. And the frequency has been auto-tuned. You'll also notice the G1000 identifies the Morse code of the ILS and displays it next to the frequency. The aircraft is now prepared for the approach, and the autopilot is flying on heading and vertical speed modes with an altitude pre-selected. And now the aircraft is turned to its final heading to intercept the localizer, at which point the pilot arms the approach mode on the autopilot. And as the localizer comes alive, the autopilot automatically turns the aircraft to intercept and capture the inbound course. And now further along in the approach, with our approach mode on the autopilot armed, we'll watch the glide slope as it's captured and maintained by the autopilot. The autopilot is now fully coupled to the ILS on both the localizer and the glide slope.